Alright, let's get into Of the Devil. I've rain sizzles, neon above me. Summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering holograms on the street. The slight bunting of the night's ambient. Emphasis on slight. Lights, camera, and constant noise. City's got insomnia. The uneven heart rate to prove it. No escaping the secondhand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. The wave of word is cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Sorry, the microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. If I'm not careful, a client of mine's gonna die in jail. Morgan. Criminal attorney. Hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. By the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, it's mapped out, never unknown and always online. Whether it's incandescent or neon or hollow, wherever it's LCD, LED, or just an nearest phone screen. There's light shining on every last pixel of the map. Someone's always watching. Call of Duty's a rarity. Anatomy is scarce. And criminal defense returns aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't bulk at public defender work, no matter the hour. You should find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world. Well, won't get me if you got him. I thought there's much I can do until my phone. After your public defender contract has been approved. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. I'll try. Looks like the paperwork came through. Nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since I finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. They're really smart, they'll have used that time to get some rest. Now that I'm here, things are going to get busy. Of the Devil, episode 0. And he shall appear. We'll turn back on. But not found. Okay. Ring 254. It's goddamn ghost town. Nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. Hear about a homicide. High clearance rates be damned. You'd think they treat it with a little more gravitas. Oh, whatever. If I'm just that unimportant, they've got no right to complain. I take my sweet time getting checked in. I should take my time. Important like cash. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. I don't know why I said important. If you're flat broke, no one will give a shit about what you have to say. Let's see if I can poke around and shake some chain loose. Press the phone button or tap the phone icon on the left to access the font menu. You can save those check settings. You can toggle on auto advancing text with auto button or check previous line with the backlog button. Look around your phone to ensure you can check to investigate the error. And earn credit for investigating anything and everything you can find. Credit is both a measure of your information Having skills and also your own credibility. Don't go broke. National Police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. The museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. Homicide's part, more like an addict. Hard to believe that they were so busy that they had witnesses making IDs in the lobby. Again, it's hard to believe they were ever doing ransom in the first place. Are you certain it wasn't a dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah blah blah? Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel, and all during billable hours. But there's no room to doubt out anymore. Now when the modded witness just submit their testimony as a video recording, assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. Beat him tracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling dice every time it falls off the sofa. I saw something. You probably null the warning one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken entirely, even at this hour. It's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. It's like the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia. You always get served at safe buildings. A few missing persons too. A few missing persons. 1 year of silver plane coverage courtesy of Gotta get a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Family must be getting desperate. A data pad. I'll buy it. Even when there's more advertisement than article, it can still be informative. A flowery roundabout? Corporate propaganda sort of way? Keep an eye out for articles in the environment. They offer insight on the world around you and credit towards your investment. Articles added to your phone's reading list after you first read them. Use the proper takeaway after reading it all. You earn additional bonus credit too. Subway fixes X. City to refocus on canopy, declaring the subway tunnels to be irreparably flooded. City engineers announced this week that all plans to drain and repair the system were being suspended indefinitely. Solid water damage to sensitive electronic cabling and erosion on the fixture cited at for 89% of subways are valuable as critically compromised or worse. Civil engineering efforts will refocus on maintenance and expansion of hybrid super infrastructure system that weaves together trams, highways, walkways, and skyscrapers into canopy high above our city seat. Reactions to the statement could be characterized as blase. It's been years since subways last ran, and decades since they last ran on schedule. Most citizens have long since given up hope on them ever making a comeback. Online chatter barely reacted to the announcement with much commenters. But its attention is focused instead on growing the investigation into entitlement law campaign finance irregularities. As one of the Cantonese major backers in the City Hall, Long has often found himself at odds with all but vocal critics that consider it to be an eyesore and an amplifier of light noise pollution, and with Long having stepped away from his public duties in order to fully cooperate with the investigators for the first time in nearly 20 years. Typically rock-steady station of Canopy was looking uncharacteristically shaky going to this week, but with the subways now officially officially no longer an option. People in corporations have little choice for how they complete their morning commute. However, not all reactions to the news have been negative. At least a few bold individuals see this latest report as vindication, possibly even a rallying cry. Already considered by many friends to be a rising star in infrastructure solutions abroad, tech startup Subterra made headlines last year with their radical proposal of a system for personal submarine taxi pods that could make use of the flooded subway tunnels. The momentum stalled when their first prototype for the city came in at its funding 2,359% over budget. The one council member was quoted as on the system mind-boggling, wasteful, and impractically extreme. In light of this announcement, Subterra was proudly declared their intent to recommit their package. Across our entire globe, coastal cities like ours have struggled to find civil engineering answers to rising sea levels and subterranean flooding that satisfy financial and practical and aesthetical concerns. Historically, most scientists have attributed this increase in sea level to climate change, though there are dissenting voices. Water rises and falls all the time for reasons we do not fully understand. It appears that you have 3 articles remaining this month. Please verify your information in order to continue reading your articles. Reading stories that matter. Ballsy of them. Putting the paywall there. I had to reach for my wallet after having read a word like aesthetical. I got the gist of it. Takeaways that city efforts on. Okay, back in news. I wouldn't trust. No. Their stock will get a bump in the short term anyway. People remember how chronicle and their ideas are. Should call me rough when the sun comes up. High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations. Pragmatic brutalism, so textbook it could teach freshman level architecture. You can almost hear the building drone on and on about on street and iron and hard around the ankles. The city, he's planning civil planning equivalents of. God damn it! All right. Backlog. Civil planning equivalents of battle scars from out firewalls so long ago they're starting to look ridiculous. It was all very imposing back then when it was built. But walking in here now with crime rates where they are, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Alright. Taking all scenery and learn as much as I can here. I'm gonna get checked in. Food up fine, so far so good. Good morning. Morgan for public defender contract. Why is there a question mark? You already said her name. Could you please provide your name and... Great, please stand still for a moment. I wouldn't call it intake hollows charming, more like harmless. But try to be what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their text, so as long as they never speak out of turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far so good, was it? Hey, why don't you just send my ID card? Alright, they said to do that earlier. Great. You could just confirm your date of birth for me. Why do they even bother asking? Probably do a mic check. Testing. Alright, we're good. Birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile. I'd have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. No problem, my birthday's. Morgan. Birth, December 26th. Height, 175 centimeters. Weight, nothing. Blood, AB negative. Occupation, fence attorney. Likes puzzles, smoking, wooden furniture. Dislikes commercials, hairdresser, jogging. Not like to sleep any deficient. Coffee, decaf, drink, whiskey set. December 26th. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and taking on this public defender contract. You're ready to speak to your client. You can proceed to counseling. Order 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room? Sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect the state standards. Don't sweat it. Can't keep track of every new euphemism either. You could call it the involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel sitting in a stifled box of one-way pedals. Looking to see with their own reflection dully warped across gunmetal walls. Work, Counselor. Can I help you with anything else? Push that story forward. Cause other option trick away when selected. Choices that take the conversation downside pass. Turn to this point will not. Tell the article you unlock or you unlock the initial choice in this dialogue. You can examine every opportunity to develop your knowledge and notes out of every. What are you? I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I can send you a link with information about subscription packages. Did I send you a link with that information about your subscription packages? No. Sorry. Damn, we didn't even get a choice. That was a mean question to ask. My city's not terribly concerned with the slow word, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? The facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. You don't see a lot of action around here, do they? Sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What are you? You ever gonna fix that crack? Thank you for asking. It does not interfere with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? That'll be all, thank you. Counseling quarters, past our homicide detective's office. Through the door to your right. Thanks. But I think it's just me for now. So you could go on break if you'd like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor. What were you doing before I walked in? You find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective office. Through the door to the right, thank you. Ads don't get breaks. And they don't get any jokes. But usually humorous types that are the most fun with to mess with anyway. Oh, it's gone bad or something? Voice. No, voice is coming down the hall. Compared to yours, probably. Hey guys, up for directions. The building this empty. This could have only just fallen. Goes. Oh, I sent old our friend sadly low energy. Appreciate you worrying about me. God forbid I try to be serious. Oh, the other ring with useful indignation. Not like our job's important or anything. Definitely cops. At this precinct, at this hour, they might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. Why else would you have to print all that out? But Algebra 100 looks the same on a data pad. Anytime you question a subject, you need to have a heavy file in hand. I think you know better than their priest. They're mother there. Big brother? I was gonna say that. How many of the sheets were blank then? No red carpet tonight, officers? Oh, sorry about that. Don't keep any extra hands around these hours. Probably faster with the desk handle intake anyways. But mostly cheaper. You're the lawyer? I am. Morgan Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Name Air Counselor. Asim London. And the ball of sunshine here is my partner Farrah Reyes. Ball of sunshine? Certainly is. Ah. Sorry if you're kept waiting. Chatter between departments has been hectic all night. No trouble. Give me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? Can't be more than a few years younger than me. We're the detectives charged in this particular case. It looks like tonight we're also your humble guide to illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. There should seem this London character around the court says. He never struck us more than just some old timer. I suppose being an old timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in this profession. I'm trying to definitely do a face though. Fidget in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks ironed. Was she promoted maybe? Well, detectives working at these hours? That's serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive on the scene. No, we're not near that time. Uniforms responded to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Oh, it's plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. You think we're the first to arrive for anything? He's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicating involvement with an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation. Not very subtle, is she? But I may as well bite at this point. Do you suspect this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? But did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put it in the public defender's briefing. We'll consider this a little professional courtesy as a fair warning, yeah? It's the heartbreak killer in that room. We've got the bastard dead to rights. If you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. You're smart. We'll pass the shit on some other night owl and go back to bed. Not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. Perhaps in the meantime, you'll be so polite as to fill me in about the heartbreak about this heartbreak killer. Every utilities at the rock you live under? Is there a problem? You're not familiar with HK? Hollow Knight? I'm very familiar. Never heard of him. Heard enough of him for a lifetime. The name has been plastered all over the city for weeks. The crown's wavering breaking news and urban legend. The presumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners and the media on the net. Everyone's indulging the exact same kind of armchair detective speculation I can't stand. But right now I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or do not know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. I take it he's a offender? Was that the killer part that tipped you off? You must have been at least heard of his MMO. Media's gone crazy with it. Along with everyone else. One bullet straight to the heart. Body left to lie where it fades. Hence the name Heartbreak, not exactly creative. But amidst the swirl of every other word article out there, catching this trumped originality. What you're going to read about along is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun. Without even needing to reload. Probably say I know, but 6 for 6? Pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at the shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that? It's a whole different beast. These Turk kind of bots are a real freak. These Poles probably didn't even rise. See. Almost making it sound like a machine. Is it possible with that? No, not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. Of course, my mistake. So all these androids machine talking to the military, those robots patrolling in the uniforms, those drones drop firebombs into the sky. I guess they're all firing blanks. Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they have been for decades. They don't kill by murder. Right. Evil like Heartbreak is all organic. Pretty terrifying thought. Should really start paying more attention to the news. I mentioned 6 murders. We can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You're still not getting it, huh? HK6 victim was found a few hours ago. We caught the son of a bitch red-handed. You convinced my client is his heartbreak killer, and tonight was just his latest crime. That's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up? Like being literal, counselor. Yeah. What was there blood on his hands? Red-handed. We found your client. He was covered in her blood. Well? That's not good, is it? You say certainly sounds compelling. That Lowy talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, I just want him to make him look good for 6 murders. All there in the Discovery Files and the ARCs, of course. Go into local net on your phone, we'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, could I also ask you a question while I've got you here? What kind of attorney ought to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney, you're just that pleasant. Come on, Sunshine, not like we're gonna be punching you. out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your clients do an interrogation all night at for all care. In Terra, you mean a counseling quarters? We're at your disposal, counselor. Latest novel androids receive warm welcome, bolstered by stronger earnings reports and surging sales of the Animate 16. No electronics rose to 73% this week to a record high. But Noble's latest iteration has yet to surpass the sheer popularity of its predecessors, and increased profit has left Noble's shareholders very enthused. Many investors were skeptical when, at their now infamous 2084 trade convention, Noble announced 16th line would be that for guaranteed so-called war android, which at the time was only demand in health, senior, and their sectors were looked down upon as a practical to increase in costs and cut strategies and cruises and the like. There's just so much. Awesome creatures. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna leave it too loud. I'm sorry, guys, but it just takes too long. In the news again. No wonder I can't spit without landing on a piece of noble tech these days. Sure, I would have seen it's improved. Don't know if they're bad because of war androids though. For government, they're just wait, what am I thinking? That's it. I've ever had a problem with 21 on overpriced crap. Loose wires, mixed panel, the intercuts, and it's probably worth more than people. It's so it's cool. You're ruining a budget for making the office now look like shit, huh? I expect to find a lot of belt tightening at the homicide. I don't think their operation would be this bare bones. You got a stunning clearance rate and they work fast. Guess you see that in soon to job. Your job is what with our dear donating surveillance system they doing so much. Of the footwork, but if you don't speak, you don't get your palm greased. Sound ends up being as you only see a partner with a shrinking budget. Up against what he's working with ambitious, this popular. Shouldn't have put that so much for just little on me to London. I don't really need green GCIs too. Or even just stapler. Paper dog shatter around lazily or along actual photographs, as long as that actual photographs. Easy, they're really old fashioned or really paranoid about it daily. It doesn't look the paranoid type either. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper, give him that. There's Turkey inviting. This must be where it's desk. Keep workstation and it might have variable, but I can't see its personalization. So she's new shoe at top down back, or she really is that uptight and boring. Oh, maybe. Nothing jumped down to me around here. We got better to who I'm dealing with. I need to check out anything. Alright, crime scene data. Should have been sent a link. I see to confirm. You never reply to see in order to determine. I talk to a person. I'm automated dependent. And they're usually more polite. Personalities are tailored to the experience. You reply see. So the sexy like to or thank you. You can see G4 on. Alright, I project from my phone. When's your reality current? Let's see what the police have. What do you think it's important? Dude, it's supposed to get tested out at one point. Yeah, there's another thing. You know, it's supposed to look at like it's missing a statement. Victim's body. What's a death? Ballistic trauma, class IV blood, SGA and Orta. Injured January, no blood and skin under her nails. What's better? Forensics and all that stuff. Tell them the shooter. And a mirror shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no off-screen history. Good hard enough to come with on this iron gel shards. Scattered far enough to land in his body, what a mess. Murder weapon revolved around right next to the body. 6 empty cases on each shares all. Mm-hmm. Not text correctly, simple little thing. We're all found fingerprints belong to my client. He was found a police murder weapon. Killed right. What do you know what? Sorry, highest prejudicial would be judgment. The same. These are big ticket on security. The apartment was unlocked last night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a late neighborhood like this. No time to force entry, only hurt my child case. What about the rest of the room? The launch chair got thrown in. Whatever that is. Enough I story. That isn't relevant. Technical business. Okay. Everything that the police highlighted. Wait, did I miss anything? I think it's just I'm saying, how the hell? Killer organizer. Take some immune adjusters, SAIDs, and Fluoxetine, a synthetic blue-coated medication. Okay, lead to reduced rejection systems like antipain in general. The top said toxin is here, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every mission in the cabinet and wouldn't change concept. God, ultimately irrelevant. Everything else is all right. Kickers know everything. God, what's the anything that reach point. Got done more with less before, but not much more. We're gonna have to sing more separate this time, but to get started. With all those messages you can get this time with that. First what comes to mind is suppose it could be something important. Red. We couldn't wait until the morning. Good news, of course. Rat. Got a job for you. Pretty sure wait. Tell me you violated parole. Well, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. Something different. I don't think I can't handle it's just keyword in a phishing scheme. I need you to assume I didn't ship you. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. What did they do? You need run legs. Not illegal. Let me finish. Maybe run laps. Even though I said I had a stomach, that gotta be like use endangerment. Depraved indifference or that some kind of shit. Sounds like you already got a very strong shapes. Hey, let's try self-representing this time. Wait, what the blow off? Nice raising. Oh wow, I'm laughing too hard right now. See? Hey, your mugshot? Oh, once again, not get a copy of my mugshot. Use that as a reaction. That's honestly funny. What do you find a use case? I mean, a certain other person's mugshot will use as a reaction. I'm working at it right now, so not necessarily a reaction, but it sort of became a meme. Anything cool on the side. Oh, cringe. Wait, what kind of homicide? The HBK? Or a heartbreak killer? That's the kind of morbid things kids your age talk about? Teens by age. Yeah, we can read. Read the corruption in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder is like Cardi B is like Wait. Not heartbreak. Why'd you take the job, Bull? You had a 98 conviction rate at the challenge or something? You're taking up lost cause probe Nova's work? It's pro bono. That's autocorrect. You know they give lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concerned nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart. What a sucker. Not a sucker. Nice phrasing, Lil. Go to bed, friend. Tomorrow's Sunday. I get to stay up if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday. I guess today is Saturday. Yeah? That's carpe diem shit. Nearly 4 AM, kid. You got like school in like 3 hours. Huh? What? Shit. You defenders may be good for business, but that kid's bad for my blood pressure. For next message, I take it. Just your typical teenage drama. So then, don't mind filling me in on a few details. Go about the basics. What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client Carlos Backerflat was arrested on a scene at 9:50 p.m. Use his middle name already? Really do think he's a serial killer. Charged being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Dawn. First degree? That's premeditation. Increasingly rare. Say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. TD's got damn near more cameras than people. Gotta be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Laura Brate's gotten away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's put the difference, say he's extraordinarily insane. But not jobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. What makes you think this was premeditated? About the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as warm-up. Warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down her online profiles. Nothing. The serial killer chose his victims are random. They have nothing in common. Yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than that, they look like cousins. Physical similarities are striking. AlphiePrime victims were the one with brown hair and eyes, but same weight, comparable weight. Those features aren't exactly uncommon. Couldn't it be coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. Itchy's got soft type, anyone could see that. You're gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? Young one, brown hair, brown. All she is portrait, but I can take the hint. Does he think what exactly? Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly that he wanted got 5 other women first? Hey, if the shoe fits. The shoe fits? And you put the shoe on the... What Sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to display the violence of people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Gifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight. My first practice on these similar women. Or just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. Not the worst theory in the world. But it doesn't fit. They want to claim that the previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. If that were the case, then there'd have been signs of hesitation, nerves. There had been mistakes. Of which guns are impersonal. Execution got even more so. No sadism or hatred and intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Your girlfriend or looks like usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile. Yeah, it's me. All the time that's with 9 PM on the autopsy. Do you have a timeline for the rest of tonight's events? Interest much of work comes out of his mouth. We've managed thanks to less bias. We're pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements. Did he interviewed witnesses? That's eerily similar to real police work. Suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 PM. It was very, very clear about that part. Didn't wait to tell us about the Abbott Caval's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. Probably either from what you saw in New York, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered. Things go quiet sometime before 9 PM. And then there's a gunshot. Driver's still scrubbing for audio from here to get a timestamp. We've heard enough from concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Right emergency after Irvis got a burst of calls from block shortly after 9 PM. Don't seem to recognize the sound for what it was. But the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrive on the scene at 9:08 PM, establish a perimeter, enter to the front door at 9:10 PM. And then they find your client. Officers arrive on the street at 9:08 PM, establish a perimeter, enter the front door at 9:10 PM. And then they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, hand covered in her blood. At which point they move to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you just say his hand, singular? Your client's modded cybernetic right arm. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with that AlphiePrime hapless, industry grade looks like. They suspected for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 KPA, which means a minimum grip strength of, well, basically, you crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Considering a career change? No, it's not that, it's just your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. Here I thought you had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. Think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. What? Getting back on track of the arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. Can't work without him, money's got tight. Arguing? Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance he'll be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. The client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found a fingerprints on the revolver. No one else's. Revolver, what kind? The old kind. The real old kind. Specifically caliber M54, 6 chamber, 10M. Dr. Calver, how retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin. And no tags. No tags? How is that? How old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data, timestamp, trigger pulse, safety keys coded to owner's biometric. For the last 3 decades, tag is making very unambiguous. So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes? Oh, so you think he'd have gotten away with these 5 other times? Tried to buy a gun legit, he'd probably fail the various psych check. And even jailbroken pieces are only good so long for update withdrawal sent in. Then MP4, that's model year 2054. 30-year-old gun. That sure complicates things, doesn't it? Some way, sure. Pre-packing firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them, less than the whole country. Here are still compatible builds. Communication would have to be over 30 years old too. Novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far. Now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put him away for good. Archive department complained loud as hell about how they had to dig. But with the protocols, they found the techs were able to match the rifting marks with all accessible to the gun your client was found with. Any marks? Bullets fired from guns that old are shit, but the ball 6 bullets had the same rifling marks. You know that they were all fired by the same gun. Now this plug and play its tags are it's equally precise science, I assure you. And if that's not damning enough, the spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber. Not even needing to reload. However, your client was found with this HK used still 61. No way to lawyer around that. Untagged gun, just being anywhere near a weapon like that, could warn your arrest. Being found by the police over dead bodies, just an untagged gun used at 5 other crime scenes is just. Summarize then. We believe that my client fought verbally, then physically with his girlfriend. And he retrieved this weapon and shot her. Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his effect? Quiet, detached. Stiff. Not exactly the picture of a greeting partner. That reaction may have lost some points with the cop. Beyond that, he'll react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. So long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. My phone here, and I have to say, done a pretty admirable job of keeping the details of HK Tron Peak. These less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobats trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories on who heard HK was a real weighty read. Not just journalists though, all kinds have been emboldened. A phrase that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them though? I mean, he's a genuine zero killer. Speed offenders in general are endangered species, but he's gotten away with. We know what he's gotten away with. Look around as detective. National DNA registries are just robust stuff that just never go cold. Cameras on every street, phone on every citizen. Violent crime and all-time low Korean military. Times high. But you're just gonna spread some whole bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than any other time in history. When someone like Heartbreak does come along, good point, huh? London trying to look like he can laugh it off. The pressure from the IRS must be reaching its peak. See what? Maybe need to see someone charge, and that. Predictable. Yeah, well. Even there's nothing standard about JHK. Department SOP still dictates we'll starve the media for case detail. That way when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. Can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but not like there's much information about us leak in the first place. Why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in surveillance program. How's that even possible? I know that there's some rough areas in lower wards, but optics is watching over the street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? Think we'd have let him kill 6 people if we did? Then shouldn't you concern, ma'am. Optics is only what it says in the name. Cyber trying system signing up to feed this state security network. Not perfect. Just another one of the many public safety tools in our belt. Not meant to be perfect and to help us solve crimes. Or at least act as a deterrent. I won't hope so. Got a chance deterrents are war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. Alright, gotta go, so I'll stop it there. Watching. I think this game is definitely getting interesting. Yeah, that's good. Go ahead and read Josh Shep's in here.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out my Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Discord, and Instagram. Also, don't forget to check out my channel 3 Peeps, a channel I host alongside Shelly and Javon. We're on Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, Discord, Twitch, and Instagram. Thank you.